Beyond the Badge is brought to you by Edina Alarm and the Edina Crime Prevention Fund.
Welcome to Beyond the Badge, a program about the inner workings of the Edina Police Department. Thanks for joining us. I'm Officer Brian Hubbard. As the calendar changed from one year to the next on January 1st, so did the leadership of the Edina Police Department. After a career spanning more than 30 years in Edina, Mike Satari retired as police chief. As he said his farewells, Chief Satari sat down with Officer Aaron White to give us some parting thoughts on his long and fruitful career.
Thanks, Brian. I'm at the South Metro Public Safety Training Facility with Edina Chief of Police Mike Satari, who is retiring from the Edina Police Department after 31 years. It's a long time.
It doesn't seem that long to me, but it is time for me to try something else.
And 10 years in the role of Chief of Police. Also, in some cases, what we see in the news, a long time to be Chief of a police department.
It is a long time to be a chief. The little known fact, the average tenure for a chief in the United States is 3 years, so I've beaten that by a little over 3 times. But part of the reason for that has been such a great place to work, so it's been a great time for the entire 31 years and especially the last 10.
Prior to your time with the Edina Police Department, you spent a short time with the Hennepin County Sheriff's Office as a jailer. And prior to that, you had some unique experience and you worked in the grocery industry. Did that experience help you in your police career?
It may not sound like a match, but I do think it actually helped, and that's the thing that I brought from there is customer service. And that has served me well, especially in Edina. When I came to Edina, there was, coming from the county, it was kind of, well, you're not going to be doing real police work in Edina. There's not much to do there, but we've always stressed customer service in here, and it's served us well.
But what kinds of changes have you seen most significantly in policing over your career?
Well, one of the good things I think that's really helped law enforcement, but it's somewhat left me behind as I've aged here, and that's technology. When I started, you went out in a squad car, and there was one little red light on top, and you had a radio with one channel. But now you look at the technology in the squad car, you have your computer with access to all kinds of information, driver's licenses, you can even fingerprint someone out in the squad car now. That would be a big one. The other one is the type of crime out there. Like I say, I have the utmost respect for the officers out there nowadays. The proliferation of drugs, some very dangerous drugs, is one big difference. It's made it tougher to deal with people, especially the criminal element. And the other one is there's more guns than ever before, and somewhat the willingness to use it by the criminals.
As police officers, we're sometimes frustrated by media portrayals of things and the way we sometimes sense certain reactions to the work we do. How do you think that's changed people's perspective or perceptions of law enforcement?
We still fight the battle a bit. They do want to show the bad news, and it's tough to get some of the good news on there, and there is good news every day. When I come in and read the reports and see what our officers are doing, it's very impressive what they do. But one of the things, the problem was law enforcement, especially when I first started, was very closed mouth, and they weren't as transparent as they are nowadays. So I have seen some improvement in there. And that is one of the things I really tried to work on when I made it as chief, to try and get the word out about the good work that the cops are doing on a daily basis. And I like to think I've had a little bit of success at that.
Sure. What are the high points, Mike? What are the memories that most stick out over your career at any points here in Edina?
As you get older, it's tough to remember, so most of them don't come from the time on the street, which I really did enjoy, working with a group of people that you kind of come up through the ranks with together. But it's mainly as chief, and the one that stands out the most is the First Star Bank robbery, where we had a sociopath come in, and he was a serial bank robber, and armed to the teeth, an assault rifle and a bag of guns and ammunition, and he basically took on the Edina Police Department. It's tragic. Officer Mike Blood was critically wounded in that. He's been disabled because of that. He's survived but did very well, but the department as a whole responded once and put an end to it. And like I say, the entire department, the way then that they bonded together and helped Mike get through there. And the other one that comes through that is the community support. That's why one of the little mantras I've been saying is I couldn't have found a better place to work, but the way the community banded together the business and the residents. We did a fundraiser for Mike Blood and were able to help him out quite significantly. So that is clearly the number one thing, to see a relatively quiet community to go through that.
What's next for you?
I say I'm still relatively young. I'm old in police years, but relatively young, so I have accepted a job with the state of Minnesota through the Department of Public Safety, through a small, relatively new department, the Minnesota School Safety Center. I'll be the director of that.
You have a final message for the community you've served for the last 31 years?
I guess this is a good format. I would like to thank everybody. The support from the community has helped keep me here. It's a difficult job. You have people out making tens of thousands of traffic stops. That doesn't make a lot of people happy, but it's part of the job. It serves the community. But just the support from the community. They take the time to write letters, emails. It makes it easier to do the job when you have the community in back of you. So I would like to thank them.
Sure. Well, I'm sure many of them would like to do the same for you. On behalf of the community, I want to thank you and wish you best of luck in your next venture here, and hopefully you get to lay low a little bit and enjoy the coming years.
Appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Mike Satari is retiring from the Edina Police Department as Chief of Police after 31 years of service. Mike, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for being with us today. Ryan, we'll go back to you in the studio.
Officer Jeff Long was promoted from Deputy Chief to Chief upon Satari's retirement. An Edina native, Chief Long has been a member of the Edina Police Department since 1987 when he started his career as a community service officer. In 1989, he was hired as a patrol officer. In 1994, he was promoted to detective. In 1997 to sergeant. In 2001 to lieutenant. And in 2008 to deputy chief. Chief Long joins us now in the studio to tell us more about his career and goals for the department. Thanks for joining us, Chief, and congratulations on your recent appointment.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You're a longtime resident of Edina, and you have worked for the department for a long time. What does it mean to you personally to have been appointed chief?
Well, first and foremost, it's an honor to work for the community, and it's an honor to work for the people of this department. But it's something, as a little kid growing up, I always wanted to be a police officer, and I grew up in Edina, and to be able to grow up and become chief is kind of my dream job, so I'm really excited about it.
What are some of your short and long-term goals for the police department?
Well, one of the first things I want to do is just look at the department as a whole, look at how we're doing business, how we're structured, how we're spending money, and see if we're doing things right. It's been a while since we've done this, so that's one of the first things I want to do is just take a look at the department structure. Long-term goals is innovation in policing. Law enforcement's changing. When I started 22 years ago, it was pretty much all about locking up the bad guys. Now it's getting to the core root of the problem in society, and we're doing a lot more social work. And as we move forward, I really want to focus on that, on how we're doing police work. I don't know how that's going to change, but you know, one of the things I've touched on is something like Tip 411. When I started 22 years ago, we didn't have texting, let alone being able to contact the police department by texting. So those are the type of things I'm talking about with innovation.
As you look forward, and I know you've only been on the job for a couple weeks, are there things that you think the community at large can expect that will remain consistent from their police department? And maybe are there things that, as you've kind of done your initial look, you could expect might look a little different?
Most of the changes are going to occur on the inside. The things that I think they will see stay the same is going to be the service to the community. We have a great police department with dedicated employees. One of the things that Chief Satari has always commented on is how lucky he was to work with such a dedicated group of people. And he was absolutely right. So most of the changes are going to occur behind the scenes that they're not going to see. They can expect to see great service continuing, but most of the stuff will be behind the scenes.
As you move into this role, obviously you've been around for a number of years in the department in progressive ranks. And now that you've assumed this role, what do you see as some of the biggest challenges or obstacles facing the police department or even law enforcement in general right now?
Well, there's two big things that I think are challenging to law enforcement right now. Number one would be the economy and our budgets. And number two would be a trend towards more violence in America. But I'll start with the budgets. We all know the economy's tough right now, so we're all having to make do with less. But we really don't want to crimp on law enforcement and how we deliver the services. We can't just cut back on responding to calls, so we have to think outside the box, find new ways to work within the budgets that we're given. And number two is the violence. Things have changed. We're seeing a lot more guns. I remember when I first started, school shootings were very rare, and now they seem frequent. We're not all that shocked when we hear gunshots on the news. I made a comment to my family recently. I was watching the news after a shooting, and one of the witnesses just said, "I heard the pop, pop, pop of a gun," and they said it so nonchalantly that really concerns me. But as cops, we're the ones that have to respond when that violence occurs. So that's one of the biggest challenges that we're going to have.
As you have been a part of this department for many years, and as you take over in the chief's role, what would be one or two things that you would like the community to know about the police department?
Well, as I stated earlier, the greatest thing about the police department is its employees. It's one of the most dedicated group of people you could really expect, both inside the department and in their personal lives. It's just a great group of people, and I want the community to know that. But I also want the community to know that the only reason we're here is to serve them. We serve the community. They've placed their trust in us, and transparency is going to be very important to me. So the community, whatever they want to know about the police department, we're happy to answer. We're available to answer questions. We want to hear how we're doing in the community, if we can do things differently. So I just want them to feel comfortable with the police department.
Well, Chief Long, congratulations again on your appointment. Thank you for being here to share some thoughts, and we wish you all the best in your new position.
Well, thank you, and thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Long is the fifth Edina chief to come from the ranks of the Edina Police Department. Former chiefs Satari, Bill Burnjelm, Len Clevin, and Craig Swanson were likewise promoted from within the ranks of the department. In March, Officer Kevin Raffadal will patrol the night streets solo for the first time in more than 8 years. His partner Kodiak, a German Shepherd dog, will be retiring from the force. Kodiak was born in 2000 and joined the Edina Police Department in March 2002. He was imported as a puppy from the Czech Republic, where he was bred after a long bloodline of police dogs. After 12 weeks of initial training, Raffadal and Kodiak hit the streets, and now 8 years later, they are making the most of their final days as co-workers.
I got the best job in the department, there's no question about it. So at the end of my career, I know I'll look back and this 8 years will have been the highlight.
Like all other police dogs, Kodiak was trained on the 5 core functions of patrol work: agility, obedience, tracking, criminal apprehension, and handler protection. 5 to 7 years is the typical run for a police dog. Of the 13 dogs in Kodiak's training class, Kodiak is the last to still be working. While a police dog's tenure may be much shorter than that of their human counterparts, it can still be as or more distinguished. Kodiak's reputation precedes him, as officers around the metro area and even outstate know him when he arrives on the scene. During his career, Kodiak even made a name for himself nationally, placing 12th out of 98 dogs in the 2007 National Detector Dog Trial. The 2007 trial was also the second of 3 times he received his National Drug Certification.
Both canines are very helpful to not only our police department, but the other ones when he gets called. But you know, there's stuff that the dogs can do that we can't.
The Edina Police Department's canine program will continue after Kodiak's retirement. The unit also includes Officer Mike Seeger and German Shepherd dog Diesel. Another canine team will join them later in 2010. The police department is also aided by several volunteer groups and organizations. Through the chaplains program, clergy people serve the community by assisting the department with death notifications and other sensitive situations. They are also available to counsel city employees and the community at large.
I discovered that it's less about being engaged in the community and more about being engaged with the force, with the officers, and love the opportunities I'm given to be engaged in their lives, and they in my life.
Current chaplains are Rich Fino of Christ Presbyterian Church in Edina and Kurt Callan of Mount Olivet Lutheran Church in Minneapolis. Another group of everyday people that gives of its time to aid the department is the Police Reserves. This group of specially trained adult volunteers observes and assists with police work in all kinds of situations and helps the department at various community events such as the Edina Art Fair and high school sporting events.
Well, we support the police in terms of when they need help, additional help at an accident scene or a fire. We do a lot of traffic control at those events, things like that.
There are currently 16 reserve officers led by Captain Browder Stone. There are currently openings for 9 more reserve officers. If you're interested in serving your community and having some great experiences as a reserve officer, contact the police department at 952-826-1610. In each episode of Beyond the Badge, we take an in-depth look at different ways viewers can protect themselves from crime. This month, we're focusing on office security. Commercial and public buildings are often the targets of opportunistic thieves. These thieves take advantage of the many trusting, unaware people who leave their personal belongings in open, visible places. Wallets and checkbooks may be left on a desktop or in a jacket hung on the back of a door. Purses are often left on the floor near a desk. These habits are an invitation for theft. To reduce your risk, keep your purse or wallet in a locked drawer at all times. Carry only as much cash as you need for the day and only one credit card and check. Make a list of credit cards, including customer service numbers, and keep it in a safe place. Update the list as needed. Lock valuables or packages in the trunk of your car. Don't leave them on or around your work area or desk. Be attentive to any visitors who seem confused or out of place. Address anyone you don't know who is wandering or looking around your office. Note their appearance and behavior and report unusual activity immediately. Use 911 to report any theft or other criminal activity and then inform the property manager. Amy Granis, Edina's Crime Prevention Coordinator, provides free on-site security surveys of offices or buildings, including an assessment of procedural and physical security. To schedule a security survey, call the Edina Police Department's Crime Prevention Division at 952-826-1610. Local businesses understand that crime prevention helps protect both their employees' personal safety and the bottom line. Local business owners, along with other community members, make up the board of directors for the Edina Crime Prevention Fund. The organization's mission is to maintain and enhance the safety of the community by providing education for the public and assistance to the Edina Police Department. The fund currently supports 2 canine units, reward funding, neighborhood home watch, bike patrol, commercial crime report, junior police, and the crime prevention specialist position within the police department. The fund has also been a major sponsor of this show since its inception. Let's go to Officer Aaron White to learn more about the work of the Crime Prevention Fund.
We're back at the training center. I'm with John Barnett, who's been an active member of the community for 20 years and is currently Vice President of the Edina Crime Prevention Fund. John, thanks for being with us on Beyond the Badge.
Glad to be here.
The purpose here today is to introduce folks to the Edina Crime Prevention Fund. So tell us, what is it? What is the Edina Crime Prevention Fund?
The Crime Prevention Fund is an organization that was formed in 1970, really as a result of a serious crime that took place here in Edina, where there was a home invasion, and a gentleman ended up going to the hospital and actually dying because of complications that he had from being attacked. And there was nothing in place in our town for reward money, and so a group of business folks got together and raised some money, and it was really birthed out of that.
Sure, and then how do you guys directly benefit the efforts of the Edina Police Department with the fund?
Well, there's a lot of different programs over the years since it was birthed in 1970. Now it's, 40 years old. So most recently, we've funded the bike patrol. It's basically police on bicycles that can get in areas that they can't normally get in with squads. And our canine unit was funded exclusively by the Crime Prevention Fund.
And that's a big part of it, isn't it? That's a substantial financial commitment that the police department would not otherwise be able to fund.
Yep, it's a pretty big deal. And we've got a dog that's going to be retiring soon, and so we've just purchased another dog, and the training and all the peripheral materials that are required for it. So
squad cars and special equipment for handling the dogs, all of that is included.
Food, veterinary bills.
And something people may more commonly see is rewards offered. That's something you guys are able to do, is to put up the funding to offer rewards for information, that sort of thing.
And that's really why it started, was for the rewards initially. And it's amazing what you can get for a small amount of money. And you know, we have rules and regulations from our board, but you know, the police chief can reward, or you guys can reward small amounts of money, and you get some good information for not a lot of money.
How can a community member support the crime fund through a donation or otherwise?
I would say the best way would be to go to our website and take a look at the site, and it'll direct you to a place where you can donate. EdinaCrime@gmail.com is another one. Send us an email and we can respond back.
Sure, and I believe there's also a link to your site through the City of Edina, through the Police Department's website.
Yep.
Donations to the Edina Crime Fund are tax deductible, is that correct?
They are. It's a good question. It is a 501c3. Began, as I said, in 1970, and it's a pretty neat organization. It just funds a lot of, as you said, it funds a lot of things that wouldn't be available other than what we offer.
Well, John, thanks for telling us a little bit about the Edina Crime Fund. Appreciate your participation in the board there and your efforts toward crime prevention here in Edina.
Thank you.
So, John Barnett, Vice President with the Edina Crime Prevention Fund. And we'll return to Brian in the studio.
Today, we've heard a lot about how residents aid the Edina Police Department. Are you interested in learning more about the department or getting more involved with us? Before we sign off, I want to remind you that the next session of Edina's Police Citizens Academy begins again in March. The Academy is an 11-week program that gives everyday men and women of the community a first-hand look at the operations of the police department. It includes a variety of tours, live demonstrations, real-life police situations, lectures, and classroom instruction in an effort to share information and improve relationships within the community. Participants have the opportunity to make a traffic stop, participate in defensive tactics training and shoot don't shoot video scenarios, perform a building search, and interview a crime victim. The Police Citizens Academy is designed to be an interactive experience in an effort to present the participants with a broader understanding about a broad number of topics. Classes are held Tuesday evenings from 6 to 9 p.m. and are held at the Edina Police Department and the South Metro Public Safety Training Facility near Braemar Arena. The Academy is open to all Edina residents and those who work in the community. Participants must be 21 years old. Applications can be found on the Police Department's website, www.cityofedina.com/police. On behalf of my co-host, Officer Aaron White, and the rest of the officers of the Edina Police Department, thanks for tuning in to learn a little bit more of what goes on beyond the badge.
Beyond the Badge is brought to you by Edina Alarm and the Edina Crime Prevention Fund.